and welcome to BYFL Gameday. I'm your host, Cooper Kelly, and joined alongside me is my co-host, Josh Kula.
Great to be here.
So first we're going to be talking about the new players and teams, starting off with the Trojans, and I'll start us there. So the Trojans, new team, new environment, got some new players, and Robert Striegel and Michael Ellis, but we did get some breaking news about Michael Reese. You want to talk about that?
Michael Reese, due to complications in his foot, will be out for the whole season.
Yeah, so that's going to be a real heartbreaker for them, so they got to find a replacement for that. So now let's lead them into the Cubs.
I think the Cubs are going to have a great team this year, led by Cal Strand as their one, followed up by the Narsh Cat, who's always going to have a great season, going to throw the most picks in the league. That's my prediction. And next we got, who's their three?
Roddy.
Oh, Ryan Roddy. Will not be attending this game due to his performance in Into the Woods at 7 o'clock at Wakeland. Be there. But who's going to fill in for their three?
I don't know. They've been looking around. I think they might be getting Marshall Levinson.
Marshall Levinson, the wild card. I like it.
Yeah.
That'll make it a good matchup between the Trojans and the Cubs. What we got next up?
Next up, we got the Mud Dogs here, Mr. Josh Kula's team.
That's my team.
They are staying together with him and Sam, but they've been pulling in a new rookie quarterback in Boone Collins. His first game today. How do you think he's going to do?
I think he's going to do great. It's a big improvement, actually slight improvement, because Joey was the best player in the league last year. So we're going to have to give him up, and we replace him with Boone Collins, who may or may not be our quarterback. We cannot disclose our actions at this time. But what we got next on the agenda?
We got the Vikings. You want to take them away?
Tell us about the Vikings. The Vikings, let me tell you, they're going to be the best team in the league this year. They got Nick Lair as their one, Joey Freeburn as their three, and the one and only Braden Sully as their two, who can catch anything. Just throw the ball up, that's a guaranteed touchdown. Next we got the Seminoles. They're the powerhouse of the league, man. I mean, they went back-to-back championships. They got, they did change their name from the Dolphins to the Seminoles, which, breaking tradition, but that's okay. They're going to take on the Mustangs today. And I think it's going to be a great matchup, but the Seminoles are going to get the dub in the end.
So after that breakdown, now we're going to take you to a quick commercial break. We'll be back right after this. Back from our commercial break. Now we're going to get into the power rankings. Josh, you want to start us off?
Coming in at our one spot in the BYFL power rankings are the Florida State Seminoles, led by Cooper Kelly as their one, Chase Aiken as their two, and Will Long as their three.
And coming in at number 2, we have our runner-up from last year, the Longhorns. And they're led by, offensively, Garrett Field and Matthew Kessel. And then on the defense side of the ball, they got Andrew Villani, who is a new addition to their team after they cut Roddy. So let's see if speed kills this year for them.
All right. Coming in at number 3, the Mud Dogs. It's going to be a very interesting season for the Mud Dogs with Boone Collins as their new may or may not be quarterback. But I think he's going to have a great season, and I think the Mud Dogs are going to have a good season as well.
And then at number 4, the Aggies. Jake Knight, he's supposed to have a big year, and it's going to be interesting to see what he does this season. But we'll see if he can lead the way for his team, and they're coming in at number 4.
You know, the 4 and 5 spot was a really debatable area in the power rankings, but coming in at the 5th spot were the Cubs, led by Cal Strand. I think they're going to have a good season, better than the Aggies in my opinion, but that's just how the power rankings fell.
Okay, and number 6, we have the Trojans. The Trojans could see a quick decline with Michael Reese being out for the season. So right now they're sitting at 6, but look to see them fall the rest of the way.
Number 7 is the Mustangs. Honestly, I think they're going to be the worst team in the league, but they gave them a generous spot and put them at number 7.
And number 8, we have the Vikings. The Vikings, they have a lot to prove right now. I mean, they can only go up. They can't go down.
Yep.
So
I disagree with that. Vikings should be in the top 3 easily because they have Mr. Joey Freeburn, the best 3 in the league.
But Joey is out for this week, so it's going to be interesting.
That is a good point. I'm glad you elaborated on that.
So that's our power rankings. Now we're going to get into our top 5 Heisman finalists who we're predicting for the preseason. Josh, do you want to take it away?
Yeah, I'll take it off. Coming in my number 1 spot, I have Boone Collins winning it all, okay? They're going to have 2 power-packed receivers, and me and Sam Reynolds, 2 Heisman winners, I might add, from the last 2 seasons.
So you are admitting that Boone is going to be quarterback?
He may or may not be quarterback. It depends.
Oh, okay.
Depends how the cards play. I'm saying if he's quarterback, he will win the Heisman. And if he's receiver, then I'm quarterback, I'm going to win the Heisman. It's just how it's going to work. Number 2 spot, and always number 2 spot, Will Long. He will never win a Heisman, but he will always get 2nd place. That's why I have him at number 2. Number 3, I have Mr. Jake Knight. I mean, nothing much I can say there. He's a Gator Athlete of the Year, and he's an all-around stud. Number 4, Braden Soley, he's the wild card. He can catch anything you throw up to him, and he brings a great energy to the field. And number 5, in my opinion, the best player in the league, most improved player in the league last year, Mr. Joey Freeburn. I think he's going to have a great season with the Vikings, and I think he's going to make a run at the Heisman.
That's a solid list you have there. I'm liking it. All right, so now my top 5 Heisman finalists. At number 1, I have quarterback for my team, the Seminoles, Will Long. I feel like Will's going to have a great year. I feel like he is going to break through the barrier of always coming in second, always being in the shadow of the Heisman winner. So I think he'll break through this year and win one. At number 2, I got last year's Heisman winner, Sam Reynolds, coming in at number 2. I think he'll have a great year with possibly Boone Collins throwing at him,
May or may not
Josh
be.
Gula
Can't disclose
throwing
my
at him.
actions.
So I think the Mud Dogs have a good year, and I think they have a lot to prove. And number 3, I have myself coming in there. I feel like I can throw myself in the little Heisman pool. Realistically, think I'm going to get a 3rd Defensive Player of the Year, but you never know. Could throw myself in the Heisman finalists.
It's a possibility.
And number 4, I got Mr. Josh Kula here. I feel like he's going to have a great year, going to play fantastic at receiver, especially because he's got those new gloves from Oregon, you know, those little icy gloves, or if they're all black, they could be icy according to Jake Knight. But, and then number 5, I have Matthew Kessel. I think he'll have a good year playing quarterback. You know, the Beavers going to come out strong in this one. So that's my top 5. And after this commercial break, we will break down this week's opening games and analysis. See you after this. Welcome back to BYFL Gameday. Now we're going to be breaking down our team predictions for the season. Josh, you want to take it away?
Coming in from the East Division, I think the Mud Dogs are for sure a guaranteed spot in the playoffs, along with the Longhorns. I think the Cubs and the Trojans are going to battle out all season for that 3 spot, but I think the Trojans are going to come up short, and the Cubs are going to get that playoff spot. Coming in the West, Seminoles for sure going to get in, going to make a run at the title for a 3rd straight year. Vikings for sure getting in, Aggies definitely not getting in, and the Mustangs are going to squeak in past the Aggies.
All right, that is solid predictions. And so for my predictions, I have the Seminoles coming in as the number 1 out of the West. And the number 2 out of the West, I'm going to have the Vikings. And my number 3 out of the West is going to be the Mustangs. And my number 4, who's not making the playoffs, is the Aggies. I have to agree with you on that.
Yeah.
But here's where I agree to disagree.
Oh.
Out of the East, I have the Mud Dogs at number 1. I agree with you at that. Number 2, I have the Longhorns. Number 3, even though they lost Michael Reese, I got the Trojans getting the spot there.
Yeah.
I think the Cubs fall short.
I think it's a great idea. The only reason that the Trojans wouldn't get that 3 spot, because without Michael Reese there, their team is just mentally rattled, and I don't think they're going to pull it out. All right, next up, introducing the first ever female BYFL Game Day host, Miss Carrie Williams. I see you, Carrie.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good.
All right. So now we're gonna go into our game predictions, and first of all, we're gonna start with the first game, the Cubs and Trojans. Carrie, who do you think is gonna win this one?
I think that the Beast from the Middle East will have a huge impact on this game. Now that he is playing receiver, he will have more chances to put his team in good situations to score. That's why I'm taking the Cubs in this contest.
Great pick.
Josh, who you got?
Her analysis was just on point. I think the Cubs are gonna go away with the dub, and the Beast from the Middle East is just gonna prevail through this game. The Trojans are mentally rattled without Michael Reese there, and the Cubs are gonna get the dub today. What about you, Cooper?
I agree that Arash Cube's gonna have a big game, but I'm pulling for the Trojans in this one.
Okay.
I think you know, kind of Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, little rookie action going. I think that's gonna change the game up. I think the rookies are gonna have a big game.
Okay.
So now for our second game, we have the Longhorns versus the Vikings. Who you got, Carrie?
I believe that Matthew Kessel and Garrett Field are just too much offensively for the Vikings. I think it will be closer than people think. I got the Longhorns in this one.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you, Carrie. I think even though they don't have my 5th spot in the Heisman rankings, I think without Joey Freeburn there, I think the Vikings are gonna come up with a dub with Zach Travers as their 3. I think they're gonna have a great game. I don't think the Longhorns are focused enough, and I think the Vikings are gonna get the dub. What about you, Cooper?
I agree with Carrie. It's going to be closer than people think. The Longhorns, they are definitely going to be there offensively. Defensively, I think they're going to get a little shaken. I think Andrew Villani's not going to be able to guard Nick Lair as people think he will be able to, but I think I'm with you, Josh. I think the Vikings gonna get this one, but it'll be close.
Okay.
All right, so game number 3, we got the Mud Dogs and the Aggies. Carrie?
The Gator Athlete of the Year, Mr. Jake Knight, will have an awful game on both sides of the ball.
Ooh,
I don't think the game will
bold
be even
predictions.
close. The Aggies will get rolled. I like the Mud Dogs on this one.
You know, I couldn't said it better myself. The Mud Dogs are gonna come out with the dub. The Aggies are they're just not gonna focus, and they're just gonna take the L.
I'm gonna have to agree with both of you guys. I think the Aggies. I think Jake Knight didn't have a good day today. I think today's not his day. I mean, if you look at the weather, he's more of a sunshiny kind of guy. I think the weather kind of plays an impact on this one. I think Jake Knight's gonna feel a little cold in this one. I don't think it's a good
It is
game
a bit
this one.
nippy in the forecast.
Give me the Mud Dogs in this one.
Right.
All right, so now for our final game, Mustangs Seminoles. I'll start us off on this one. My team being the Seminoles, we're gonna come out firing. Mustangs that don't know what's gonna happen to them, we're just gonna absolutely destroy them. And little news flash here: Chase Aiken could be starting at QB tonight, so that's a little scary for the Mustangs. So I got Seminoles in this one. Gary?
My babies will get it done like they always do. Go Seminoles.
Alright, I think it's gonna be a not even close game in my opinion. If they got Chase Aiken at quarterback, that's a guaranteed dub. Okay, he's got ice in his veins. Mark my words. Chase is gonna have a huge game. Will's gonna catch for 15 touchdowns. Cooper's gonna catch for 1, and the Mustangs are just gonna lose. That's why I'm gonna have to go with the Seminoles.
Hey!
Fear the spear.
And that wraps us up for week 1 of BYFL Game Day. Tune in next week for week 2 of BYFL Game Day.